New you.
I mean, nah. There wasn't nothing wrong with me, so I'm keeping who I am.
And that's a problem in itself. Right there in the podcast.
I am completely satisfied.
My name is Debbie Denial. And from there...
What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me?
Nothing wrong with
Are
you.
you going to start that? Or you want to start... Is this what we're doing
Why
today?
are you always starting a fight that's not necessarily a fight? I mean, we can't even have fun without you want to throw a blow.
I mean...
Just stop it.
Why can't we have fun without you having to throw an insult?
Boo, twisty treat. Here we go.
Twisty treat?
Oh, wait a minute. I just gave my shot of Twisty Treat ice cream. What's up, Twisty?
You know I've only been there one time?
Yeah.
Only one time?
Well, when I was eating ice cream, I used to go all the time.
They have, I went there because they had like a Dole Whip.
Yeah.
Like a gluten-free Dole Whip.
Cool. I love Twisted.
I went there for that.
Yeah. Now it's Twisted Sugar.
You ain't been there for a minute, have you?
Listen, I want to go today. Don't think it ain't crossed my mind.
Well, I act like you ain't been eating cookies. That's a lie.
I didn't say I haven't been cookies. I said I haven't eaten Twisted Sugar.
No, you just been eating them double-decker doozy gingerbread caramel shortbread
I was
from
on
Epcot.
a break. and loved every minute.
You ate a lot of cookies.
After every candlelight show, I went to get that cookie.
Did you get it after every one?
I tried my best, except when they were out.
I got it one time.
Yeah, it's seasonal. They're seasonal, so I won't have another one until next season. So,
are they already gone?
Oh yeah. Okay. They're only for the holiday season, and then boom. But I just got depressed. Okay, thanks for listening to our podcast.
Because you don't get no of those cookies. Sorry, my chair's squeaky. Did you hear that?
No, I didn't hear it.
I need to sit still. It went meh.
Yeah.
Kind of sound like a duck.
Yeah.
So did you have a good New Year?
I had a very good New Year.
I did too.
Yeah.
We lit fireworks.
Fireworks, yeah. That was fun.
That was fun. You hadn't done that before, had you?
No, and not since I was a kid.
Was it scary?
Little.
It still kind of scares me.
Little. That's why I don't sit and watch. I light and run.
Yeah, like I'm not good. Well, it's the lighting part that scares me. Like when I'm off from it,
right?
It don't bother me. But to like light it, I just keep thinking, and I let my kid do it.
Right.
I mean, he grown.
He grown, but still.
I mean, I was letting him do it when he was like 17, though.
I mean, you are a rebel, so that makes sense.
Like, go ahead, Tark. I'm scared.
Go ahead and put it up under the car and light it. See what happens.
Go ahead, do that. See. Let's go. But yeah, so that was good. I had fun. Ate. I also have big news.
What news is that?
What did I get?
I have no idea, so just get right to it, because you got a lot of stuff, so I have no idea. What you got?
That was rude.
Probably. What you get, though? I'm so excited to hear about it.
You already know.
I don't know which one you're talking about. There's a lot of stuff.
It's a furry something. I got a dog.
Oh, you got a cat. Oh, my goodness.
I didn't get a cat.
I know you got you got a dog.
I know.
Looks like a little horse.
Isn't he precious?
He is so precious.
He was a rescue, and so somebody had posted on Facebook, like, they had to rehome their dog. And all the people on Facebook were super mean. They were like, you wouldn't rehome your kid, you wouldn't, like...
Yeah, I saw that, and I didn't, that's a lie. I heard about it, and I just thought, that's so dumb. You literally have an opinion about something that you know nothing about.
Right.
And you're passionately wrong about it.
Well, the thing that was so sad about it is that they were actually completely distraught and doing the best thing that they could to try to find a home for this animal. And to me, it was heartbreaking.
Yeah. And it was heartbreaking. I was sad how mean they were to this couple, because it just shows, isn't it weird how psychotically self-righteous people can be when they have no authority or right or opinion or.
Right.
And then put it in writing and hit send.
Well, it's keyboard warrior.
I mean, like, you literally put that in writing and hit send and thought you were right about it.
Right, and well,
that's the craziest thing in the world.
There's keyboard warriors everywhere.
Well,
there's a whole lot of, it's easy to be gallant, or I don't want to say the word because it might make us have to change our rating, but the to where you just feel like you've got the right to say something and make a big judgment call based off of like a 2-sentence thing.
But the thing about it, the self-righteousness after you hit send, I've told them.
I mean, and why do
That's crazy.
I don't understand why people want to tell off people all the time.
That's crazy.
Like people you don't know.
I'm like, what are you doing?
I mean, sometimes, like, I ain't even gonna lie. I sit there and read the comments. When it's people who actually deserve to be told off, I'm still not gonna be the one to tell them off.
Right.
But there are people who post dumb things. But like this poor lady, God love her soul. Backstory: she had to get rid of the dog. She was doing the best thing for the dog. Her husband had some serious health issues. She was not going to be able to take care of him, and she wanted to find him a good home.
Right.
That's what she was trying to do. She asked me 4,842 questions, wanted to know about my family, wanted to know about animals in the house, where we lived, how much room, how much availability we would have for him. It wasn't something she took lightly, and people would say, would you do that to your kids? Well, it's a little different.
Well, I wouldn't even respond to that dumb question. The question was dumb.
I mean,
it's like,
well, she didn't.
And I'm like, good. Like, literally, the question is dumb. So why in the world I'm gonna feed that?
Yeah, and my friend Crystal, when I posted the picture of him on Facebook, she was like, "Oh my God, is that the dog that was on the Winter Garden page?" Because like it was so sweet, and those people were being so mean to that poor lady.
Well, that poor lady did the right thing.
Yeah,
and it took courage because it's obvious that she loved that dog a whole lot.
Yeah.
Loved it enough to find a better home from the situation of someone who can give it what it needs.
Right.
That's courage. That's not a coward, and that's not less love. That's actually more love.
Yeah.
So, shout out to you.
He's such a good boy, and he's such a good boy.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I just get mad because of.
I know.
I'm like, this is why I keep my mouth shut.
But
because if you can't say it to me, I'm not going to read what you have to say. And then put your name on it.
Yeah, okay.
Don't put anonymous. My name's
Jeff.
Jeff.
This is what it looks like when Jeff has been triggered.
Ooh, that just got me mad. I'm not going to, you're going to know exactly what I say.
Normally I'm the one who's triggered.
That just triggered. I'm sorry. I'll pull it back in. I go back to being Dr. Redding because Jeff really came out.
No, I like Jeff better. Dr. Redding gets on my nerves.
Because I'm like, I'm actually that.
Dr. Redding.
But, yeah, you don't do that later like that. And then...
That was me. It was me.
That's what bothers me.
Especially because you've seen it, though, where she's messaged me 75 times.
Yeah.
Since I've had him. How's he doing today? Is he doing okay?
Absolutely.
How's he adjusting? What does he need? It's so cute.
Right.
It's precious. So I'm taking him to the vet tomorrow. Mm-hmm. He's up to date on all of his stuff. I think he has to get his, like, it's time for him to get his shots.
Right.
But he's, like, not behind or anything like that. Like, she took good
Right.
And then I'm going to find out more about, like, what I can use to groom him and things like that. He's so fun. And he's such a baby. And he only will lay on the towel, which I think is weird. You say you think it's because it's cool. And he's furry.
No. The bottom part. The bottom part of his belly has no hair on it. So oftentimes what a dog does, because it's a cool floor.
That's what I said.
Oh, I thought you said something else.
No. I said because you said it's cool.
I thought you meant like cool, like, yeah, cool. Not cool in terms
I
of
meant
temperature.
like cold.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I was like, no.
I
didn't
think that Brian was like trying to like catch the ladies.
You know that.
Yeah. How you doing?
Hey, Bella.
Well.
Yeah.
We are going to have his instincts handled.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. They're in full swing.
They're there. Like, so much of his instincts. Mm-hmm. That surgery makes me nervous. Like that, what? Any surgery makes me nervous. But for him, because, you know, again, he's not a child. He's not a child. Right. You can't say, I know this is going to hurt for a minute, but we love you.
Is it sit, Ubu, sit?
You just go, and they just got to have faith. Oh, it makes me so sad. It makes me so sad, because he's so cute. And I love him so much. Michelle loves him so much, too. Michelle and me FaceTimed last night so she could FaceTime the dog.
Wow.
And his name is Brian.
And you want Michelle on your side, Brian.
Yeah. I mean, it was so sweet. It's so sweet. Brian the dog.
Brian the dog. So talk about what we're going to start our first conversation of the new year.
I know. I'm quite excited. We're talking about guilt. Guilt is garbage.
Okay.
No, I'm being funny.
What?
No, but no, it is. I'm being funny, but I'm not being funny. We all suffer with guilt, right? But if you're like me, and I don't know if you're like me or not. Well, no, I know you're not like me. No. But I have guilt issues bad. Like crazy bad. Over everything. Like, everything. And it is, I don't know if it's a Virgo, if it's type A, if it is some deep-seated trauma that I have yet to uncover from my past. I don't really think it's that. I think it's a personality trait. But I struggle with guilt. A lot of it. Often. And one of the big things that I've worked on in the last year, and it was just one of the reasons I want to talk about it, is guilt can help you, but if you ain't careful, it can hurt you. And, you know, we're going to talk about shame next week, and there's a difference between guilt and shame. So first, this week, we're going to identify guilt and what it is, and things that we're guilty over. And, like things that we feel guilty over, and why do we feel that way.
Right.
Okay, Jeff had a great idea. And so we're actually going to give you the definition of guilt. I just looked it up. I did not like Webster's definition, so I'm not giving that because it was dumb. No offense, Mr. Webster.
I mean, I just took offense for Webster.
Oh. But is guilt an emotion or a feeling? Is the question posed. Guilt is an emotion wherein we feel that we've made a mistake. It is defined as a feeling of having committed some wrong or failed in an obligation. Shame, on the other hand, is an emotion where the feeling is that we are the mistake. Thank you, LasVegasRecovery.com. That's where I got that definition.
Oh, cool.
So
today, talking about guilt part of it.
Right. The emotion where we feel that we've made a mistake.
Right.
We make mistakes every day.
Absolutely.
I don't even know which ones I've made today. As I try to think of what I've made, literally just trying to focus to see how I could feel guilty.
I just saw yourself look. I was like, why?
So, we had a fun little exercise that I made you do, and you don't like exercises, but you didn't do it all the way, probably. But anyway, probably not. But made a list of things that we feel guilty over. And there are some of them that are legitimate, yeah, and that I had. I'll go first.
Okay.
I'll go first. But, and then some that are so dumb, and they're so deep-seated, and it's really sad.
Right.
So, I went through and I did a brainstorm of different things, like I wrote in my journal, like, all the things I feel guilty over. And what's funny, the clock stopped me. Not me stopped me. I didn't run out.
Oh, man.
I just kept going. And I don't know how many of those things I could have possibly found, but probably a lot.
Right.
So one of the ones that I know is going to kind of give you a eyebrow raise, I guess I should say. You know when we went to Candlelight? And I got one of the cookies that we were laughing about earlier? I felt guilty about that.
Why?
Your face.
Like, why?
Because
it was delicious.
Right. And see, here it goes. Don't cry, Christy. Don't let this episode make you emotional because you're a freaking girl. I believe I'm supposed to look a certain way. And I know that if I ate the way I wanted to eat, I would be overweight. If I don't watch what I eat and if I don't work out, I would easily be very heavy. So that I gave in and allowed myself to indulge into a cookie that was probably more calories than what I eat in a day, on a standard day. I hated myself after. Like, why would you do that? And then the negative self-talk that comes with it. It's like, why are you going to do that? You're going to feel bad. You're going to make yourself fat. And then you're going to be upset because your clothes don't fit. And then you're going to end up like getting diabetes. I always go to like some type of illness.
Of course.
When I'm dealing with food. I always do. No, like really. And I do this. I'm like, forget it. YOLO. I'm going to have this cookie and I'm going to like it. And it's almost like I'm fighting my own self. So dumb. But like, yeah.
That's not dumb.
So I literally felt guilty over a cookie.
Well, at the end of the day, first things first. Number one, we're talking about life experiences and just as for the people and just want to re-articulate something, we're not coming from an experience of experts.
No.
A place that we're not experts. This is not research based or anything of that nature. It's table talk. So take that for what it's worth. It's literally table talk. So my part of the table talk is this right here. Is my opinion basically is you can't allow, it's easier said than done. You cannot allow yourself to go down that road, because at the end of the day, I try to focus on what's healthy for me. Not, if I eat this, I'm going to be so fat and chubby, and do we all go down that road? I go down that road also, because I have obesity all up in my family. So that is a constant fear I do have for myself. But that being said, I try to go towards, instead of that, wait a minute, if I eat too much of this, I will get diabetes because I have diabetes. So in my head, instead of going the way of physical, you know how it looks physically, I try to go health-wise. If I eat 2 minutes, I get diabetes because I have a tendency to gorge. So therefore, you know what I'm saying? So I fight the same guilt that you fight, but it's more so of, once I feel like, these pants don't fit no more, wait a minute, Jeffrey. What about, I switch it to, but are you on the road to diabetes? Are you on the road to high blood pressure, and so on and so forth? That's how I switch it in my head to get me back on track.
You want me to tell you the God's honest truth? If you told me, I kid you not, forgive me, Lord. And I know I don't mean it, but maybe I do. If you said, Christy, you're going to have diabetes, you're going to have to give yourself injections for the rest of your life. But if you do that, I guarantee you that you will maintain your body and your size. I would do it.
Why?
I have no idea.
Okay, I don't know about that.
I think I need therapy.
No.
No, I think that there is such a... At one point in my life, I was a big old girl. And I was miserable in my own skin. And, I don't care if you're 300 pounds or 120 pounds. But I know... Well, you've seen me super skinny, too. Like when I was 130 pounds.
Right.
And I looked like Skeletor. That wasn't good. But right now I'm comfortable in my body. When I was that big, I couldn't sit on the couch comfortably. It's like the way I carry my weight in my body. I wasn't comfortable in my own skin.
Right.
I don't want to get there again. Then I couldn't find clothes that would fit right that I was comfortable in. Then when I couldn't find the clothes that would fit right that I was comfortable in, that when you walk around miserable in your own body and you can't get out of it, if you have on a pair of shoes that hurt your feet, you can take them off when you get home. You can't take your body off.
Nope.
It's there. So it's a fear, and I let myself go. I would quit wearing makeup because I got depressed. It turned into it was a bad cycle when you didn't know me then. You're welcome. But I never want to go down that road again.
Right. I understand.
And so there's an awareness and a fear but something I had read said, I feel guilty to eat birthday cake on my birthday or anyone else's. True. I do. I feel guilty if I eat cake on my birthday. I'm going to stop that. I'm working on that.
Right.
But then to go to something a little bit more serious, I guess. When I was in college, the end of high school, beginning of college, I was a little wild. By a lot. Okay. Not near as bad as what some people have done, but from my Southern Baptist upbringing, I was wild. And I know my mama worried herself to death about me. And I will forever feel guilty for what I put my parents through.
Yeah.
I know I broke their heart. I mean, we fine. We good now. There ain't there's no long-term parental drama. But when I think about it, and then now as a mom, to know what my kids how I feel about my kids and what they had to watch me do.
Yeah.
And not being able to help it. And at some point, kind of just having to sit back and say, okay, this is what you're going to do. Go ahead. And I remember when I joined the military, the look on my dad's face of like pure pleasure. Mm-hmm. And I thought, he really wants me gone. And I realize now, it wasn't that he wanted me gone.
Saving your life.
He wanted me, he knew where I was going to be. Mm-hmm. You know, I think it's one of those things that like when people have their kids, like when their kids get convicted and go to jail, mm-hmm. and they're like, I know where they're at.
Yeah.
I know they're safe.
Right. Right. I hate this there, but guess what?
Like this is what it is. So, you know, guilt is a thing though that we really have to work through, because what purpose does it serve? Some of it serves a purpose. Like, mm-hmm. some guilt is healthy. Like, you should have guilt over some things.
Right.
Like, should I feel guilty over stressing my parents out? Mm-hmm. Yes, I think I should. Like, if it was crippling, maybe mm-hmm. not.
Right.
But it's not crippling me at this point. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
I found that when I go through that, because we all go through it, is I look at what's the why. You know what I'm saying? What's, I'm really guilty about this, or I'm really guilty about that. What's the why? So what lesson have I learned from this? Why did I have to go through this? What was the why? You know what I'm saying? To become a better person. You know what I'm saying? And oftentimes you have to go through some of the guilty things, to feel guilty about whatever it is, to get on the other side of it. Mm-hmm. And then what you can do, you can look back on it and say, wait a minute, let me help you, because I know what that dark path looked like. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I understand what that path looked like. You know what I'm saying? And so it is. So guilt can be a healthy thing if in fact it's channeled in the right direction to get you on the other side of healing.
Right.
But then it can be a detrimental thing if it becomes a weaponized, if it's being you use it as a weapon, then you start hurting yourself. Then you start doing this because of your own like self-righteousness and things of that nature, One of the things that I felt guilty about was I as a young person and had not lived life, was looking at my parents and judging certain things and certain actions about my parents, because I said you would never, until I became older. Mm-hmm. And then started walking in their shoes. And the minute I started walking in their shoes, because sometimes life happens, mm-hmm. you sit back, and I thought, that's why. It didn't make sense to me at 21, mm-hmm. but it makes sense to me now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so I look back on that and say, oh, but this is how that guilt did. I can allow it to do me that way. I have to go this same. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things in which, when you've gone through things in life, you all of a sudden, oftentimes the people who have a lot to say either ain't gone through nothing, or they've gone through so much that they're trying to divert to not deal with their stuff by focusing in on someone else's things. And that's one thing that I've learned. And when I went and I talked to my dad, we had a very powerful, and I just asked some poignant questions, and he said to me, now let's talk.
Right.
Now you're ready to have this conversation. And, or your mother, or, your friends, or your loved one. And so it's like this. You have to understand the power of guilt, the destructiveness of guilt, but you also have to understand how it can literally guide you and help you, but you have to, at the end of the day, release the guilt. Right. At the end of the day, good, bad, or indifferent, allow it to instruct you, but don't allow it to keep you prison.
Right.
And you learn the lessons that you are supposed to learn, and you learn the consequences that comes along with it. but then you end up being hopefully a light to someone else. Not what they perceived about you, but they come and talk to you one-on-one and get it from you. And that's, for me, in my head, is that regardless if it's big guilt or small guilt, how do I allow it to mold me, encourage me, not destroy me, and then release it? And then become a testimony to someone else who wants to hear.
That's a great question, and I'm going to tell you exactly how to do that.
What?
Can I tell you that was like the perfect segue?
Okay, good.
It really was. So my therapist had me do this exercise, and actually you will find it. I will put a link in the show notes how to get there. Because as I told you, there will be PDF worksheets so that you can work through some of this stuff with us, with us. So one of the things that I want you to do is to sit and think about, like, she challenged me to say, like, who are you? What's your labels? What are you? So, like, for me, I'm a mom. I'm a podcaster. I am an employee. I am a dog mom now. I am a daughter. I am a sister.
Right.
You know, I'm a best friend.
Right.
In those things, and there's a bunch of other different ones, but you know, right? Figure out like the main 5, 6, 7 things that you would think that describe you, that you recognize yourself out. Now, out of those, what are things that make you feel guilty that come to mind? Hit each one, because I guarantee you, with each thing that you describe yourself as, you're probably going to have 5 to 10 that you feel guilty about.
Oh, one of the main things that I feel guilty about is not all the things. Is not feeling good enough.
Look, I was getting ready to like jump over and hit pause because I did not know where you were going, and I was like, "Don't say something."
Yeah, it's those things you talked about, not being good enough, not being present enough. But then you have to realize, what are you? This is what my professor always taught me. I mean, and it was very powerful. He said, Jeff, it has nothing to do with the amount of time that you spend with someone. It has everything to do with the amount of on-task time that you spend with people. You can spend with people, I can be with my daughter for 8 hours. And I'm looking at TV and she's looking at TV. But if I spend 2 hours of on-task time with my child, that's worth more than an 8-hour day of looking at a show. So it's working through, it's the guilt of making sure that I have enough time for the people that I love and that deserves my time. That's one of the biggest guilt things that I've learned and have been working through. How many times in your life have you given your time away, yourself away, to situations that did not deserve you? And then you literally neglect the people in your life that have always consistently been there for you. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And so that guilt is equivalent to everybody loves a new pair of Jordans, but you forgot those old Jordans that has always been there, that has walked up every hill, every valley, No, just shine those shoes, because those things that are new, they're going to get old also. And then what? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And so it's like, oh my goodness. So it's like, and so even through my therapist, when I go to my therapist, and like I said, I told her that, we talk about you in the podcast, and we talked about stuff like this. And it's like, acknowledge, release, learn, grow. You know what I'm saying? So that's the one thing I've been working on, is that, I feel like I have never been good enough. I've never felt like I've been good enough. So I work harder to be good enough. But then I had to ask myself, to whom am I trying being good enough to? And why? And sometimes it can go back to parents. You know what I'm saying? Growing up, I wasn't good enough for this parent. I wasn't good enough for that. Oftentimes you act out things that you don't realize that happened way when you were a kid.
Yeah.
And so guilt sometimes is your backseat driver, and you don't even realize it's driving you because it's in the backseat and you think you're driving.
Well,
so it's interesting.
One of the things that she had me do, and I think that this is wise, Because a lot of times I think that I know we do. Mm-hmm. We walk around feeling guilty for things, not even consciously realizing that we feel guilty for it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so literally write down how living with guilt makes you feel. For me, I don't sleep. I'll wake up randomly and I don't know why. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I will get distracted easily. Mm-hmm. And I will do, I don't know what you would call it, but like, I will become hyper focused on like, let me go get, all of a sudden I'm now going to be a world renowned hand letterer. And I'm going to take up some type of weird hobby of like, it's always an artsy craftsy thing. Because I think it requires so much attention, like to learn something like that. But I will start doing that. Mm-hmm. And if it's almost like self-medicating, I guess, in a way.
Yeah.
As somebody who's not I guess that's my vice, is like being crafty. But those are things for me to look at. Mm-hmm. And I will get so snippish. Mm-hmm. Snap mad?
Yeah.
I don't know, what do you call it? But short with people.
Yeah.
When guilt. I mean, I'll do those with other things too.
I mean, for real. Yeah.
But this, wow.
I mean, I just agree with you.
You agreed too quick.
I mean,
and too passionately.
Not quick enough, but let's try it again so I can do it quicker. I want to beat my own record.
Listen. Mm-hmm. But, so, sorry for my chair.
Come on, tell you something about my stuff.
No, go ahead.
One of the things when you're talking about that, for you, how you do that, one of my biggest guilt that I've had is, and it's been like for my life, is forcing other people to try to accept me. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the guilt of, it's weird, is I feel guilty. I'm not saying it right. I feel guilty to myself. Like you have shortened yourself, Jeff, because you've tried to exist in 20 million circles and be everything to everybody, but end up being nothing to yourself.
Right.
And so, and then you end up, people will then have an opinion about you that are absolutely incorrect, ain't even close to being right. But because you've worked so hard to be accepted, for them to see you for who you really are, when they end up seeing what they want to see, you feel guilty that you've wasted that much time in that. And so I've shortchanged myself. So I gorge and eat sometimes, you know what I'm saying? I don't get snippy with people. I just remove myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm the opposite. I'm like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Which is sometimes is not healthy.
Right.
You know? So it's different ways. And now I'm like this. I'm just learning, be exactly who I am. Don't hide who you are.
Right.
And just be who you are. Those who love you and those who want to see you for who you are will see you for who you are.
Right.
And that has been one of the hardest lessons I've had to learn. And this goes back to my growing up. Look, I am good enough. Look, I am good enough. Why wasn't I chosen? Look, and then you do that kind of stuff, and like people say, "Oh yeah," and then you're still misinterpreted. You still miss, and then after a while, you're like, "This is an exhaustion," and I wasted a whole lot of my life trying to get accepted by people who never will accept you because they want to see what they want to see instead of talking to, you know what I'm saying, instead of being who. And it's not like this. Okay, fine. And I'm a much happier person now. Because, and again, it's still a work in progress, but it's still that dark spot in your life is dark. And so now I'm able to look at folks differently and see stuff that I didn't see before because now I'm on the other side of it.
Well,
I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it does. But here's one of the things that like riddle me this riddler. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying you've done this. Uh-huh. I'm saying I've done it.
Right.
But I wonder if you have done it. Mm-hmm. because I don't do it anymore. Right. I think we will both agree that on the caring as to what people think, Christy's way past that one.
Oh yeah, you don't.
Then you are.
Yeah. I have come now. I mean, listen.
I've been doing that journey a lot longer than you, my guy.
I co-sign with that. I am a whole lot better off now than I used to be. When you first met me, you know, oh my goodness, you know, I lived that life, and it was like, I'm not living that no more.
Right.
I know exactly who I am. If you want to get to know me, you know where to find me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But when you're in the public eye and you're out there doing, and you're trying to inspire, and you're trying to do this and you're trying to do that, you always have that little thing on your back. Now to the point that I've shaken it off and like, whatever, let's roll. I know who I am. Do you want to know who I am? Let's work. I'm not here to flip an opinion of me. I'm here to be the best version of who I can be.
Right.
And, you know, easier said than done. You know, if that was the case, I wouldn't be in therapy. You know what I'm saying? Easier said than done. But it's like I can walk into a room with my head held high. But you know what I'm saying? Uh-huh. It's, you know, I'm saying, okay, who wants to get what I have to give? Because I'm still here to serve and still here to inspire. If you don't want it, that's great. Next person. I'm not gonna. It's that whole thing that Dr. Madison used to always say, who claps for you? 100 people can be in the room and the one have a problem with you, you ignore the 99. No, I'm paying more attention to the 99. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, keep in mind, you still have your ups and downs? Absolutely. Are you further ahead of me than I am? Yep, but guess what? I'm catching up.
Well, no, I mean, and I think that's great. One of the things, though, that I think that is funny, and this might be a thing that makes a difference, but you said... Oh, and I'm not laughing at you. I'm just laughing at no, I'm totally not. But I am laughing at the difference of us as people.
Right.
When you're still trying to inspire and you're still trying to motivate and you're still trying to, hey, I'm not. I was never trying to inspire.
No, that's never been you.
No.
That's,
no, but I mean, I'm just saying, to hear you say it and it's like, yep, I can't relate to that. I hope that people on this are inspired and motivated, but not motivated. I want them to be inspired to fix themselves so that they're good for themselves and other people. Right. Because I think if everybody fixed themselves, they're not going to be mean to ladies who post pictures about their dog trying to rehome them.
Right, exactly. But that says more about the person who wrote it.
Oh, yeah, no.
Then, you know what I'm saying? That if anybody read that post, they thought, what happened in this person's life where they felt confident and self-righteous enough to put it to hurt somebody that they didn't even know.
Oh, yeah. I mean...
Or even if they did know him.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, a whole lot of stuff about that person.
Yeah, but I think that, you know, it's a different... I've never struggled in that aspect, but what I have, I used to, back in the day, not since I lived in Florida, for sure, but there was a time, believe it or not, that I was a conformer, if you will, and wanted people to like me and wanted people to think that I was sweet. And I mean, don't get it twisted. I still want people to like me. I don't want them to be like, oh, Christy, look, here comes that hag. But I'm not going to change who I am. So people will like me.
Right.
Because I am what I am. And I'm completely satisfied with me as a person. You don't like my tattoos? Shut your eyes.
Yeah.
You don't like my mohawk? Shut your eyes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not even a mohawk right now. I'm changing it up anyway, though. You know, I'm comfortable in my own skin. And I will make no apologies for being comfortable in my own skin.
And you should.
But I do remember what was worse than feeling guilty when people didn't like you, like what you were just talking about, is the guilt that I felt when I acted like I was something that I wasn't so other people would like me.
Yeah.
So then you got the guilt of oh, they don't like me. No. But then you've got the guilt of I'm acting like a totally different person than what I really am.
Right, yeah.
So that these people will like me who on any other day I really wouldn't like. I really wouldn't like them.
Right.
If I had a nickel for every time I cared about somebody who I didn't like, nor did I want to hang out with, but it bothered me if they didn't like me, I would have a lot of nickels. Right. Or quarters, whatever I said.
For me, it was, let me try harder. Let me try harder for you to like me. Let me work harder for you to like me because I'm a good person. I want you to please like me. And then it was always, yeah, but.
See, that makes me want to come around the desk and hug you right now.
No.
I mean, I'm not going to.
I mean, I'm just trying to say, it was be like, yeah, but. And it was like, so when I say I want to inspire people, that's who I am. That's at the core of who I am. I can't make you anything. How can we all become better? You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so one day I'm going to write a book about it, because this is something that I really want to do but when it got to a point that everything was misinterpreted or, you know what I'm saying? Or it's just like you almost go into a shell.
Yeah, but then here's the thing, too. I said, did people ever interpret it right? And then that made you feel guilty? Because that happened to me, too. It was a thing where...
No, when people got it, I never...
No, that's not what I mean. Not when people got it.
Yeah,
But let's say you did something garbagey. Like, I don't know, cheated on your taxes.
I haven't done that. So.
I know you haven't. That's why I said that as an example.
Oh, sorry.
And so,
I don't do prison.
I have an accountant.
Sorry.
I don't want to do. Wouldn't make it. You too pretty to make it in prison.
Listen. Okay, whatever. I ain't playing that game.
No. Do you see these conducting hands?
I said, no, sir.
They like... Or, you know what? Let's not do that. Let's do a... I know somebody that this actually happened to, which was not me or you. But it's a good example. You didn't clock in and out the right time while you were at work. You didn't do it. You thought... Are you a bad person?
Right.
No. Did they make a bad choice? Yep.
Right.
But then all of a sudden, they're called a thief and they're stolen time. And then they get fired from their job.
Right.
Were they a thief? Maybe in a way. Should they have worked the hours they were scheduled? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then you feel like crap because all these people that you knew called you a thief and said you stole hours from your job.
Yeah.
But guess what? You did. Mm-hmm. You took the 2-hour lunch break when you only got 30 minutes. And you left 45 minutes early and showed up 15 minutes late. And they send you a bill for the time that you stole from the company.
Right.
And that is so tragic. But the person that this happened to, he was such a good person.
Right.
He literally just made a mistake. And if there was something, he had the thought process that there's times that I work more. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure it'll even out in the wash.
Right.
It didn't. Mm-hmm. But like, he was a good dude. I mean, he still is a good dude. He's not dead. I made it sound like he died or something, and I didn't mean like that. But it was very sad. Mm-hmm. Very sad to see what he went through with it and the names he was called, but he was every bit of that. Like, he did what they said he did, and people knew it. Right. So not only did he feel like, there's more to me than this. That's not really who I am. I'm not that. Yeah, I did that, but I'm not.
Right, exactly.
That, like, I'm not going in and, because, there's degrees of felonies, right?
Right,
so
exactly.
It's not like, if he stole a piece of gum from a 7-Eleven, people see it different. But stealing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
and the point that he was trying to make is he wasn't his mistakes.
Right, like, I made a mistake.
Yeah, I'm living with the consequences of it. Uh-huh. But I'm not my mistakes.
So at that point, where does it go?
Well, I think it's a double-edged sword, I think. It's a double-edged sword because one is you're talking about fact and fiction. Whatever the fact is, and then you're dealing with that. Absolutely, you go through that turmoil, you go through that whatever that is, you know what I'm saying, that he went through. And those are things that you deal with, and then you grow and you say, okay, don't go down this road, okay? Then, but it's funny, it's the same lesson. It's the same lesson. Then you go through the other part of the guilt, the thing that all of a sudden someone says you robbed the bank, but then you add a lie to it and say you robbed it with 5 people. And then all of a sudden but then after you robbed the bank with 5 people, you literally then added 10 more cousins, and then you got a safe house around the corner next to Baby's mom.
You said you're going to make me black out.
But do you get what I'm saying? So therefore you have the guilt of that fact, but then you open yourself up to the dishonesty and the make it, let me make it sound more. You know what I'm saying? And then so do you fight that? Do you fight? No. You just literally sit down and say, well, guess what? You opened yourself up also to the BS. So,
right.
So therefore, guess what? People will understand what the BS really is. You ain't gonna say nothing. Time does that. You just fix what you need to fix about you on your stuff, and then you grow. And that's when you learn to release the guilt.
Well, and here's how you do that.
I mean, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm giving you step by step.
Because both of them, if you didn't do one, you wouldn't open yourself up to the other BS. Mm-hmm. So you still own it and you keep going.
So, one, you name your guilt.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in this situation, it'd be like, I feel guilty because I've embarrassed my family, I've embarrassed myself. Right. I did something that I shouldn't have done. Mm-hmm. Okay? What deep belief or standard is making you feel that way? Mm. So with that, and y'all are going to have a copy of this, you can download it. Uh-huh. But that would be like, it might be God. It might be your religion. Mm-hmm. It might be the way your parents raised you. Mm-hmm. It might be laws of society or Caesar. You know what I mean? Not really Caesar, but you get what I'm saying. Like whatever your beliefs are. Right. That what part of that is making you feel that way? And then what part of me makes me feel guilty? Right. So that took me a while to wrap my head around. Mm-hmm. And really, that's like saying, it's almost acknowledging number 2. Normally it's your belief system. Like, for me, like the example of the stuff I did, some of it went against my faith in what, you obey your mom and dad. And I was not obeying my mom and dad. Mm-hmm. So I had that as my faith system. But then what part of me made me feel guilty? Mm-hmm. The heartbreak on my mom's face and my dad's face. The concern that they had, the worry that they had, I love them. Yeah. And I hurt them. Mm-hmm. That's what makes me feel guilty. I know I hurt people I loved. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to hurt people I don't love. I don't want to hurt people I don't like. Right. I don't want to hurt people. Absolutely. So to hurt somebody that I love though, that's the part of me that makes me feel guilty. Right. Next thing though, is think about, did I actually hurt another person? Mm-hmm. Yes or no? So, in this situation, like that we used with, I almost said their name. I mean, don't put it in the No, I wasn't meaning to. With this guy. Yeah. He did. Uh-huh. But a lot of people were just gossiping too that were not hurt. Exactly. They just wanted to talk. He needed that situation is I need to feel relevant. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but he needed really irrelevant. He needed to apologize to his wife, right? Because he was the breadwinner, and then it was a situation of how are we going to pay the bills? Yeah, can he get hired again? Will that how will that work out? Right. A lot of people say apologize to your kids. Unless they know exactly what happened, don't put your children into other people's business. The kids. Right. Yes. Like, if you violated your child and they're 28, apologize to your kid. Right. If your child is 5, and in this situation, you keep your kid out of it. Yeah. But at that point, you apologize. Now, once you apologize, do they have to forgive you? Nope. Nope. Not at all. That part you don't own. You've done your part. You let go and you keep going. So then you sit there and you sit back. Have I done all I can do? Have I done all I can do? So what he did, he got with the company. He made a payment arrangement. Uh-huh. He admitted what he did. He left the company. he asked them if they would give him 3 months to start payment before they would file legal paperwork. They agreed. He went. He started making payments. Paid them back the money he owed them. And that's a step. He could have not paid, fought it, said, nope, I didn't do it. Take me to court. You're a liar. He knew he got busted.
Right.
And he made the payment.
Right.
And, like, took his lick and went on with it. So, that's like, have you done all you can do?
Right.
If you've apologized to people that hurt you, that were hurt by your actions, and then you're trying to make steps in the right way, what else is there? So, at that point, you got to come to the conclusion that I made a mistake. I will not make this mistake again. I'm doing all I can do, as much as I can do. Because the guilt will make you want to go into a time machine, and you can't do that.
Not at all.
You can't go back in time. You can only deal with what's here today. So that part, you've got to let it go. Like, you're not going to go back in time. You can only go from right now. So what can you do right now about the things back in time? Figure that out and do those things.
Right.
And then move forward and let it go. That has helped me so much in so many things. One of them, like, I went to my mom. Swear to you. Ask Nancy. I said, Mommy, I did some bad stuff when I was in high school and college, and I feel like I should tell you about it because I need you to forgive me. And she said, keep your mouth shut. I forgive you. I don't want to go through it. I don't want to relive it. I don't want to know.
That's right.
Just know you're forgiven. You're my baby and I love you. Thank you for apologizing. You're forgiven. Because I wanted to ease my guilty conscience, I felt like I should tell her.
Yep.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
So I just have to sit there and I had to swallow it and let it go. So the whole point of this, though, is to put your guilt into perspective. To say, okay, to walk through it. Write it out. And when I say write it out, you could put, like, chicken livers, but you know what you're talking about. If you're writing it on a piece of paper to where you don't want people to see it, burn it, shred it, you know, put it in the phone's notes of your phone and delete the note. You know, whatever it is.
Right.
But get it out there to walk it through. But this sheet will help you do that. And it helped me say, is this healthy or not? What have I learned from it? And when you realize what you've learned from it, and you've done what you can do, and you might not want to have to pay that money back. But guess what? To move forward, you're going to have to.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like biting the head off the frog. Just do it. Do what you're going to have to do. Get it over with. Knowing is always better than not. You know, it's like a friend of mine used to not go check the mail because they didn't want to see the bills in the mailbox. So they wouldn't check it. Guess what? They're still there.
Yeah.
They're still due. They're still in the mailbox. Like, your TV's going to get cut off because it's been there. Just because you didn't see it, it's still there.
Right.
So, knowing what you have or don't have or what you need to do or what you don't need to do is not, just follow through.
Right.
It's never as bad as you think. I think you and me both are living proof that it's never as bad as you think. We've had catastrophic thought processes embedded in our, not embedded, that sounds like somebody else put them there. That's not, that's just,
but
like at different phases in our life.
Yeah.
We have had catastrophic thoughts when things really wasn't that catastrophic.
Right.
Like, meh.
You know, there are things that you sit in. There are certain seats that you have to sit in to sit through. Sometimes you have to sit in the seat of forgiveness. Sit in the seat of being the bad guy. Sit in the seat of not trying to be the hero. Sit in the seat of, you know, all those, you have a cycle of things that you must just kind of sit in to get through, you know.
Yep.
And then you keep moving forward. You don't own things that are not you. You don't own what you did. You can't own anything else, even if they, you know, people try to put it on you. You know. And then you got to keep growing. But also understand that the reason why it's put on you is because you open yourself up to it in the first place.
Right.
So own that too. No, stand up for yourself when things need to stood up for. But understand the whole picture. Release and keep going. And just understand that, you know, you just got to keep going.
And, I want to close this up with saying, at the same time, when you know that you're struggling with guilt, are you withholding forgiveness from somebody?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Because that can be a reason too. When you feel guilty, have the grace to forgive somebody. I make mistakes. You make mistakes. Everybody in this building has made mistakes. Give them forgiveness. Whether that don't mean that you forget, that don't mean you run to them with open arms and put yourself in a situation.
Right.
But if you give forgiveness to somebody,
and let them know.
Right.
Let them know.
Like, hey, I forgive you, but I got to keep a healthy distance from you.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I mean, you have to let them know, hey, you keep it going.
But work on that. I'll try to forgive those people who said mean things about my dog. Original mother.
Good luck. I used to always say this. Always give the level of grace that you may one day need. Mm-hmm. And life is funny. The ones who sit there and say, I never need it, will be the main ones who need it.
Yeah, I mean...
you have to be able to give what, because if not, okay.
Let's go to Criminal Minds for one quick second.
Oh, wow.
Is it a show if we don't talk about Criminal Minds? Is it even a podcast?
Yes, it is a show.
Is it even a podcast? I don't think it is. But one of the things that... there's some dark things that happen in Criminal Minds. Like some seriously dark things.
Right.
And these people do some weird stuff, like cutting out tongues and lobotomies, and it's crazy, yeah. So, but at least half the time, mm-hmm. you end up feeling sad for the unsub. Because they went, I got the terms down, mm-hmm. Because of what they went through.
Right.
If somebody has slighted you in a way that you think is so foul and awful, what if they went through to get to that point to where they can do this terrible, horrible thing?
Right.
I was sexually assaulted at 13 years old. Mm-hmm. I forgive him. I don't know why in the world a grown man mm-hmm. would have felt like that was a thing to do to a child. I look at a 13-year-old now and it,
Right, exactly.
It's crazy. Mm-hmm. What happened in his life?
Right.
That doesn't mean that I don't think he should still to this day be locked up.
Right. Don't mean that you're not going through what you need to go through to get healthy.
Right. But there is the thing of what happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. What happened? So, the guy I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
What was it to where he felt like he needed to cut out early?
Yeah.
Was he overtired? Did he just need alone time? Mm-hmm. Was he overwhelmed? What was it? Because sometimes people might just make stupid decisions being greedy.
Yeah.
And there's no other reason but just that. But sometimes it might not be that black and white.
Yeah.
Because, I think it's a whole lot easier to be good than to be bad. It's a whole lot easier to tell the truth than to lie because you don't have to remember what you said the first time. And then no matter what you do, it don't matter who sees you do what, where, at, with who, and mm-hmm. You don't have to worry about it.
Right.
That's the way I live.
Right.
So that's my point. Figure out your why. Let go of your stuff. And at the same time, while you're letting go of your stuff, maybe you need to let people let go of stuff that you're forcing them to hold on to. Mm-hmm. I mean, not that you can really force somebody, but you know what I'm saying. You kind of can.
Yeah. You're a walking reminder.
Yeah. But anyway, say something funny.
I don't know why you always say something funny. Sometimes you just need to end just like this. This was great, and this was powerful. And this is the first one of the new year. Boom, boom.
And we should say something funny.
Well, go ahead then.
I mean, I ain't got nothing.
Remove the expectations.
Whoa, Nelly. Whoa, Nelly.
Yeah. Whoa, Nelly.
That was so loud.
I cannot wait till merch come out.
I know. Oh,
Nelly.
Well, thank you. If you go to the show notes, we will have a link in the show notes to the PDF. Follow us on Instagram at Red and Green. Please, 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 if you have not and you're a new listener, please rate, review, and subscribe. It really helps us out a lot on iTunes and anywhere else that you listen to podcasts. We would appreciate it if you would do that. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you. We love you guys.
Thank you. See you at Red and Green,
the podcast.
Bye.
Bye.